Question number 33 on the reading portion of College Board's Test 4. As used in line 4, state most nearly refers to. So this is a vocab question. Identify the word in the piece. Read around that word for context. Come up with your own definition of that word, your own meaning, your own association, your own phrase. And only then do you take a look at the answer choices, A, B, C, D. Plug it back into the sentence with that word and see if it maintains the original meaning with the original word from the sentence. To avoid the evils of inconstancy and versatility, 10,000 times worse than those of obstinacy and the blindest prejudice, we have consecrated. To consecrate something means that you bless it. You consecrate a church, or you consecrate a memorial. It means that it's like you can consecrate a ship. You're almost giving it like a holy baptism. It's like a rite. Like this is sacred. We have consecrated or blessed the state. And state. I don't know what state could mean, like the state of affairs, so like the current situation when the president gives a state of the union, like how are things going. But the state could also mean the State Department, or the fact that the state could be like the government or the political entity. A state also could be like New Jersey or New York. We have consecrated the state that no man should approach to look into it. So what's it's referring to, this pronoun? The state. No one should look into now we have to think of the definition. What does this word even mean before we look at the answer choices? To look into the state's defects. Can you look into the current state of affairs and say we're going to look into the defects of that? It's like maybe, but doesn't it make more sense you look at the state? It's like we have to look into the state's defects, look in the government's defects. But that he should never dream of beginning its reformation. Can you reform the government? Yes. Can you reform like a period of time? Not really. He should never begin its reformation, the state's reformation, by its subversion. That he should approach the faults of the state. And we bring up the word once more. And we're still talking about the same state. To this faults of the state. So we shouldn't approach the faults of the government, of the organization that rules. So, as used in line 4, state most nearly refers to. Style of living. This is a good bad answer. A lot of people pick that. We have consecrated the style of living. It's like, yeah, we're talking about people in the beginning, and I guess they're talking about the ways that people live. And that's like the logic that we have consecrated this style of living. Is it a style of living to avoid evils against inconstancy and versatility? A style of living is like how much money you spend on food, or what you wear, or what car you drive. It's like, this is the style of my life. I'm not a fan of this, even though a lot of people pick it. A lot of people pick A because it sounds good or it seems reasonable because we're talking about like the father and people and we're talking about what people should and shouldn't do. But realize state in this case is referring to the government. It's not referring to the style of living. Position in life. That's another good answer. We have consecrated this position in life because it's abstract and it sounds good, but you don't really know what it means. A position in life could be you've worked 30 years in a company, or I don't know, you have a PhD and this is my position in life. This is my status in this hierarchy of society. Once again, this has nothing to do with a person. They're trying to latch you on to the idea that this matters with an individual because we talk about the father and then you approach it with pious awe. But this has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with individual people. Notice how A and B both talk about that. The living, position in life, it's all very physical things that deal with humans. The temporary condition. That's what I was talking about when we talk about this. What's the current state of affairs? What's the state of my company? What's that snapshot in time, this brief period? And I have to ask myself, this temporary condition, we've consecrated the temporary condition. Are we looking into the temporary condition and trying to fix it with due caution? Are we beginning the temporary condition's reformation by its subversion? Are we approaching the faults of a temporary condition, or are we approaching the faults of a state or the government, political entity? We have consecrated this political entity, this state, the government. And because what is this piece all about? Furthermore, to zoom out a little bit, they're not talking about an individual's position in life. They're not talking about something that's temporary. If anything, Burke is talking about something that is eternal, something that is a contract between the dead, the living, and the unborn. The answer at number 33 is going to be D. This was a very hard question.